two questions. One, is there somewhere you go to, a place that you visit often, a relative's house, a vacation space, that you feel unwell when you go there? Something feels off. You just get a cold every time, you get a sinus infection, or you're feeling down, or you get a skin rash, or your GI tract acts up. Is there somewhere routinely that you have been over the years that makes you feel sick? Or two, when you leave your residence that you spend most of your time in and you go somewhere else, do you feel better? Do you just kind of have a relief in symptoms? Now, this could be because if you're at a certain place that you're going on a normal basis, you might be around somebody, or vacationing or going to visit a relative, you might be around somebody who is just not, their energy isn't the right thing for you. There's just a negative feeling around that. There could be that. If you're having physical symptoms when you go somewhere, there's a good chance it could be something more. And if you're leaving your house and you're feeling better, you could say, oh, it's because I'm on vacation and I'm out of this routine of the daily grind or whatever. There's physical symptoms in both these cases that will arise from being out of your home or being in your home, that will be linked to something in that environment of that space that is not making you feel well. And if you're somebody that has an underlying condition of any kind, an autoimmune disease, autism, sensory processing issues, anything that is any kind of underlying thing that kind of routinely comes and goes, or is kind of always there and just kind of changes. So when you go to these different environments, it might cause a flare in something that you're experiencing. Or you could be pretty well in general and have something going on. Sometimes it's harder to notice exactly when that is and to pay attention to your body if you're not having to focus on it on a normal basis. If you are aware of being somewhere that is causing something like this to occur for you, this could be psoriasis, this could be a sinus infection, this could be anything that is ear infection, this could be dandruff, it could be like anything GI stuff, anything can be caused by mold. And mold is a substance that grows inside of walls, it grows under sinks, it grows around pipes, it can grow literally anywhere. It can find a place and just take off, and it can be completely hidden. You can't see it in some cases at all, which was an experience that I had and I just talked about in my previous video, which I will link up here for you, about my experience with mold that led to me having the symptoms of Lyme disease for 14 years. So these mold spaces are very, very toxic. They produce mycotoxins, which is the part that gets us sick. It's the part that floats in the air, and it allows our immune systems to become suppressed and for autoimmune disorders to crop up. And this has even been linked to women being pregnant who have been in mold to potentially having children that are experiencing autism. There's even some cases where this has happened. I know somebody who I have a son who they were in a mold house. They didn't know she was experiencing Lyme disease symptoms, and she gave him this TRS spray, this mycotoxin like absorber basically from the body, and his autism symptoms started going away, like drastically reducing, because he just had this buildup of mycotoxins in his system. So in our experience here, I was living with my parents, and their house, for as long as we know now, was leaking water down the wall from a window. And we had no idea that this was going on for a while. There was a small leak in the side of the house, it kind of came out to the carpet like a long time ago, like 15 years ago. They cleaned it up, never really thought about it again. It never showed any signs of water damage. There was never any mold on the walls, around the window, on the floor, nothing. And when my symptoms got so severe, that we kind of had to look for other ideas and why my symptoms weren't going away or would get slightly better and then it would come back, my mom did a lot of research on mold and found out that there has to be mold. And I was spending, this was in the family room that the window was in, and I was spending a ton of time in there, and sometimes sleeping in there overnight too, because I just fall asleep on the couch and sleep in there. And so sure enough, they rip open the walls and it's just covered in black mold in there. And so that environment, I got out of there for a few weeks. I think it was, I was living in, for like, I think a month or a month and a half, I was living in, and then another month at my friend's house, I was living out of the house. And during the time that I was living in the hotels and the Airbnbs, I was feeling so much better. And I was still experiencing a lot of Lyme stuff, but I was definitely improved from just being out of that environment. Now, my friend's place that I was at actually also had mold in it, which we found out later. So I wasn't necessarily feeling a ton better when I was there, but I was feeling better when I was in these other spaces. And it can be tricky to figure out if mold is an issue for you. Looking at, if you look up typical mold, black mold symptoms, and you look up what you have going on, when things started, anything. I know somebody that was living in a house that they were renting, and they found out towards the end of the time that behind the wall of their bedroom, where their head was actually black mold there. They started experiencing anxiety and depression on a regular basis, and never really fully recovered from that for like 10 years or so that they have experienced this, and it never really went away. And that they never before that moment had the anxiety and depression, and then since then haven't been able to get rid of it. It's just the mycotoxins. They haven't done anything to try to get rid of it, to my knowledge. So those mycotoxins are just circulating in their system, and it can really throw off a lot of autoimmune ways that our immune system works efficiently into an inefficient way, and we then are responding with inflammation and having a inflammatory response to these toxins that are in our bodies that sometimes need a lot of help getting detox out of the system. So pay attention to what it is, do some research on mold and see if that is lining up for you. There's some great books on it out there. There's a ton of information out there. So check it out for yourself. I'm Kimberly. I make videos about health and wellness and nutrition and Ayurveda and self-growth, a whole bunch of different things among with Lyme disease as well. So if you would like to see more of this content, please feel free to subscribe to my channel. It'd be a great help to me and getting these videos out there to more people. And give this video a like if you like this content. And I will see you in the next video. All right, bye.